Good morning, everyone. So it's 10 a.m. There are just six of us on the call, and we'll give a few minutes for the others to join. You have a number of registrants, so we are going to wait for some few minutes, and I'll be recording the session. So for those on the call right now, I'm informing you, I'm taking your permission to record the session, and then when the others join out, I'll repeat it again. So yeah. My camera minutes. So please, if you can see me, kindly let me know because I can't see myself. Can I see myself? I don't think so.
I can see you.
Okay. I hope my background is not too I don't know. It's not blurred or I don't look.
Oh, it's
Uh,
clear. I can see you well.
okay, so thank you everyone for joining. It's 10:10, others will join as time goes on, so just have to begin. So good morning, everyone. Welcome to the GRIC Industry Brief Session, as I said earlier. My name is Jemima Sedinam Haji. I'm the program assistant for the Ghana Research and Industry Collaborative here at Impact Investing Ghana. So it's nice to meet all of you. I'll run you through the presentation, the outline for today, and then we can go on. So we'll take a round of introductions. It's quite a culture for us to take introductions from the people on the call participants, just so we appreciate your background and how beneficial the session is going to be for you. Then welcome remarks, which will be done by me again. Then we'll take the presentation from Erica. Today we have Miss Erica Ajo up here, a 40 minutes presentation. Then we have question and answers session where you can ask all your questions. Then we also have a feedback session, which basically is for you to fill a form to tell us how the session was, if it's insightful, if it was beneficial to you, and what interest you have in it. So you may want some sort of partnership or just to explore some partnership or collaboration with the presenter and then their team. So you can't fill that form or you have to fill that form for us. Then we just take the summary, next steps, and closing. So this is supposed to be within an hour and 30 minutes. We spent 10 minutes waiting. So hopefully we can finish in an hour and 20 minutes. So please, I'll take a round of introductions. Your name, your organization, the current project or program that you are running at your organization, and any potential collaborative opportunity you're looking for, either with GRIC or the organization that is presenting today. You can share that if you already know something about them and then you have any collaborative ideas, you can also share that and it will be taken note of. So please, I don't know if I should call people, but if you want to present, you can kindly unmute, introduce yourself. You can kindly unmute and then do that for us. If not, I'll just have to call your name, except the presenter actually. So the presenter doesn't have to introduce herself yet. So, is anyone ready to speak, or should I just mention names? Sherry Parker, you've been on the call for a while, so I don't know if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself. I hope I pronounced your name right. Okay, Sherry is not responding. So Desmond Clinton. Is anyone willing to introduce themselves? Please, a Wobble team, you can introduce yourself. The IHH team as well can introduce themselves. Then, if nobody's ready, we can just move on to the main
Okay.
session. Yeah,
So
thank you.
may I go ahead and introduce myself,
Yes, please, you can do that.
Jemima? So my name is Regina Apia Okon. I'm a professor of toxicology at the Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research. At Noguchi, many things going on. So I don't know what to point at. Maybe in our department here we have. I am into drug discovery, particularly anti-cancer drug discovery, generally drug discovery, but more into anti-cancer. Yes, for collaboration. Yes, after doing some drug discovery, it's important to move on to see whether we can move some projects to the next level, some products to the next level, to patent some of them and so on. So for now, my interest is in partnerships that will take them to that level. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jane. That is well noted. Please, anyone else would want to introduce themselves? Okay, since no one else wants to introduce themselves, I'm going to move to the main session. You can actually also type in the chat box your name, your organization, what you do, and then any collaboration that you're looking to explore. Okay. So now I'm going to give the welcome remarks. So once again, welcome everybody to the GRIC Industry Brief Session. GRIC stands for Ghana Research and Industry Collaborative. We are hosted by Impact Invest in Ghana, which is a non-profit looking to increase social impacts. And then the Ghana Research and Industry Collaborative basically is an initiative that we run, or a project that we run, to bridge the gap between academia and then industry. And we do this in various means. So one of the initiatives under GRIC is the GRIC Industry Brief Session, which is basically identifying high quality research that have been done in our universities. So the applied universities, any research institution, and universities here in Ghana, we identify this research through a lot of means. It could be searching on the internet or working with the intellectual property offices at the various universities for those who have, to share some innovations or some research that their students have done with us and give them the platform as this to share with industry stakeholders who would find it beneficial, who can actually uptake this innovation or this research that would improve their business or their market or whatever it is that they are operating in. So we do it in various sectors. So it's not limited to one sector. We've had health, agriculture, and then many others, information technology as well. We've had 13 sessions so far. So this is our 14th session, and we've gone ahead to support 2 innovations to commercialize. So one was on pesticide. We've supported the business and the students who came up with this innovation to actually commercialize, to take their products to a more scaling point where they can reach more people. And yeah, then we also have Cyprus, which is basically a research that was done by a researcher on tiger nut milk. And then we've brokered that collaboration with the researcher and the business to actually use that knowledge that the researcher has to improve the products that she has in her company. So these are some of the things that we do. This is how the GRIC Industry Brief Session provides the platform for researchers and innovators to meet industry stakeholders and then take their products to the next level. We also have the GRIC learning workshop, so we build the capacity of researchers, because we've come to know that there are some issues that are in the ecosystem that must be addressed. These are capacity issues. So we identify these issues, then we organize such learning workshops for them, which are usually unpaid for, but for some of them last year, we also ran a training program that was paid for because it was on intellectual property and then commercialization as well, which is quite important in the ecosystem that we find ourselves in. We also have our GRIC annual forum, which is a high-level event that brings on board every stakeholder that we work with, from researchers to innovators to development partners to policy, government, and persons to participate and discuss the issues that are in the ecosystem and then ways that we can address these issues that we've identified. So these are some of the few things that GRIC does. So once again, I would say welcome. I hope that you find this session insightful. And then also prepare your questions as you listen. If you have any collaborations based on what they've said, kindly, as I indicated from the beginning, we have a feedback form. You indicate it there, and then we follow up on you and broker the deal with, or the collaboration with the presenter. So I'll just go ahead and hand it over to Miss Erica Adjoa-Appiah. She's a co-founder and the Chief Financial and Marketing Officer at Webble Technologies Limited. So please, Erica, you have the, should I say the floor now, to go ahead with your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jemima. So I would like to share my screen. Please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay. All right, so I'll just zoom in. I will start by greeting everybody. Thank you for such an opportunity. Good morning, everyone, and thank you, GRIC, for such an opportunity to speak on this topic. So I will be talking on commercializing climate smart threshing solutions for Ghana's rice value chain, and why post-harvest mechanization may be missing a link in our national food security conversation. My name is Erica Adjoa-Appiah. I'm a co-founder of Webble Technologies Limited, and I also double as the marketing and finance lead. I will zoom right in. So every year in Ghana, we consume around 1.8 metric tons of rice. However, we import over 1 million metric tons of it. That's worth over $560 million. But we have the issue of farmers, being very good at what they do. We have the fertile land. Farmers are putting in their best to, make sure that we get the highest grain. Therefore, the issue in there, right, is that because of the mechanization gap farmers continue to use manual way of doing the activities, and as a result, although we are producing high, it's not the issue with farmers not putting in their best. We are still spending over 560 million importing rice, and that is very concerning. So the question remains, if we grow rice locally, why are we still losing so much value, right? So this is the problem. In 2021, my team and I, we did a research on farmers in the Adansi South District, and then we realized that farmers lose up to 46.09% of their harvested rice due to manual threshing. So manual threshing so if you look at the video by the text, you'll notice that there are some women that are threshing. This is a manual way that this is what farmers go through every year. So if we are looking at just the grains that are lost, we are not even talking about the grain quality and all that out there, 46% of it. And this process takes a lot of time. So you will notice that this rice is left on the open field. They are exposed to adverse weather conditions, rain, sunshine, and all that. So the grain begins sprouting, some shatter and all that. So at the end, when the rice is milled, it becomes very unappealing for we that love rice to even think of buying. Yes, and then the issue of quality degradation and all that, because it spends so much time in the threshing phase. So this is what the 46% means to a smallholder farmers. If you say a farmer is using 46% of their yield, I'll use this example right? So an acre, from my experience, 1 acre of rice farm is able to, a farmer is able to harvest around 15 bags, 1 kg bag. And if the farmer is losing 46% of it, it means that the farmer is losing approximately 7 bags out of the 15 bags. And in financial terms, that is 5,520 Ghana cedis lost per acre. And mind you, a lot of the farmers, smallholder farmers we have here, mainly depend on their farming activities to take care of their homes, to pay school fees, for medical bills, and all that. So this amount, we are looking at lost income. We are looking at farmers not being able to take care of their, their kids, their school fees, their responsibilities, and other things. And beyond that, we have farmers not being able to reinvest their capital back into their farm. So you notice that Mami Kia has been farming like 2 acres of land. For 30 years, she's still on 2 acres of land. And this is some of the issues. Then we have the issue still on the poverty vulnerability aspect. If farmers are losing this much, it means that all this money that's supposed to make their lives better is going waste, and therefore they are still in the same poverty cycle. Yes. So this is a little background about Wobio Technologies Limited. We started in 2019 when my team members and I were undergraduate students at KNUST, and we thought of having a community project. So during the brainstorming, one team member brought up the fact that he is from a rice producing community, and the issue there was manual threshing, and he's even a victim. His family too depend on the same manual way of threshing. So we thought of what we can do, and then we're able to manufacture our first wooden thresher. So the picture by it is the wooden thresher that we manufactured. Yes. And so it was not for a business, but for, giving back to our community and all that. So when we started this, it's a petrol-powered wooden thresher. And because there's an engine on it, like the sound, when we started, the farmers nearby, they were interested, like, oh, when you come, I have rice, I've harvested rice, come and thresh for me and all that. So we started like, oh, okay. We can actually, make a business out of it. We can actually, come up with a better or a more sustainable way. And we knew this wooden one with petrol is not going to, solve the issue, or is not going to meet the demand, even at the district or the community level. So we decided to interview the farmers, ask them what they look out for in a thresher. We looked at what is available already, and by the feedback we got from the farmers, by our own experience from school and academic backgrounds and research, we're able to make our first modular metallic multi-stage rice thresher. So this innovation is not built for farmers, but it is built with farmers. So now this was the purpose of the study that we conducted. What we sought to understand was to understand the real cause of post-harvest losses. I mean, I know we produce rice, but hardly would you meet high quality Ghana rice on the market. You rather buy your perfume rice and go somewhere and all that. So we wanted to understand what causes it. And then the next one was to analyze the inefficiencies in the manual threshing activity. Then we studied some limitation of the imported machines, both the huge ones, the combined harvesters, and the Chinese ones, the smaller and modular ones. And then we also looked at how we can improve grain quality and farmer income. And then beyond that, we're also looking at coming up with a more sustainable solution that is going to solve the issue and not harm the environment in the long run in such a way. So this is the methodology, how we went about the whole research during our 2021 and even up to date year by year upgrade. So we first started with the farm level observation. We observed how the manual threshing is done, how some of the machine operates. So for the team, we actually got a grant in the form of machine which came as a thresher. So we get to observe how that machine worked, looked at some online and observed others on fields. And then we had an interview with the farmers, and then we have our continuous performance measurement from 2021 to last year, 2025. And then when our machines are on field too, we still continue to monitor, look at the issues. So if you look at our newer version of the first modular metallic machine that we built, you notice that there's some differences in there. So for the impact from 2021 up to date, our treasures have been able to service approximately 900 smallholder farmers, and it has processed 993 metric tons of rice. And in terms of the rice that we have saved for smallholder farmers, farmers have been able to have an additional revenue of 4.7 million Ghana cedis. Okay, so this is what we discovered during our research on field. The first thing we discovered was that when you are threshing rice, both the wet and the dry ones have their different way of operating, right? So if you are threshing, let's say maybe a wet rice, you need some level of airflow. So our machines have a renewable aspect of it, which blows away the chaff and all that. But when the rice is wet, it means you have to increase the airflow to make sure that the chaff is really blown away. So we noticed that you cannot have a one airflow thing for a thresher. So it means that it should be adaptive to be able to meet both wet and dry rice. Then we noticed that because farmers harvest in manually, right? So some of them harvest short, some of them are long. It's not uniform. So when the stocks are not uniform, it means that it's going to cause choking when the machine is fed during the threshing season. We also noticed that some farmers, or most of the farmers, are inaccessible to rigid machines. So it means that, from our case, we have the instances of riding our cocoa farms, passing through some, stuck places just to get to some farms to offer them the services. So if you look at the demographics of the farms, you notice that some rigid machines cannot go there. Then we also discovered the energy aspect of it because we started with the diesel or petrol then diesel, and then we are now transitioning to have greenway. We noticed that we spend 70% of our operational cost actually goes into diesel or fuel, which is very, very concerning. And then we also noticed that women bear the most when it comes to manual threshing. So threshing is a very tedious work. From the little video that I showed, it's very, very tedious. And we noticed that from our research, the average age of farmers that we met, even across Africa, right, is around 55 to 60 years. So if you see a 55 or 60-year-old woman beating, rice on a drum or using stick to beat, that's a lot of work. And then we also discovered that farmers are willing to pay in kind rather, because during the threshing season, they might have spent all their money. So they are willing to pay you in rice than in cash. Yes. So these findings directly shaped our engineering architecture. This is what gave us the idea, and it's still giving us the idea. So this is the solution we came up with, the multi-stage rice thresher, which that's a picture, and it's currently at the final stage of getting our patent. And the machine is designed for both wet and dry rice. That's when we have the adjustable airflow in there. For irregular feeding, so it means that even if the rice are not harvested on the same stock length, the machine will still be able to get it threshed. And then when it comes to the energy aspect of it, which we are still exploring, the solar aspect, or combining both solar and then the diesel engine, so machine can work off-grid. And then because it is modular and some parts of the machines can be detached when it's in transit to the farm, it means that we are able to, it is designed to access every farm, no matter how remote or how bad or how small the road is. So in terms of performance, this is some specifications that we have measured internally, right? So our machine is able to thresh approximately 1.2 ton per hour. And the threshing efficiency is above 98%, meaning that if you feed the harvested stock in the grains, you are more likely to get 100% of the grains back, meaning some are not going to be lost in winnowing or being stuck on the stalks or whatever it goes on in there. And then we have the machine having a low grain breakages to as low as 0.3% and even lower. And then the anti-choking mechanism, which means that the machine can run or work all throughout without, intermittent breaking down where some rice will be stuck somewhere. We had the issue initially, but it's something we learned and we have, adjusted and improved over time. And then the adjustable airflow aspect of it and the hybrid system of it. So this is just an add-on, new innovation, which is 100%, solar. So this one came about as a result of some farmers who already have access to some threshing or threshers out there. And the issue that with them was the winnowing aspect of it. So we made this, and it is 100% solar. And this data is from CSIR Institute of Industrial Research. They studied the machine somewhere last year. Late last year, and this was what they came up with: the fact that the winnower is 98% efficient, and it's able to process rice approximately 363 kg per hour. And because it's 100% solar, the battery on it is able to run for almost 10 hours. So which means if you take it to field, it gets the whole thing done without you thinking about diesel or anything. And then, so the energy is 100%. I mean, because there's no, diesel or anything like that. And then when it comes to the CO2 aspect of it, it is basically zero because it is 100% solar. So it means that this one is just 100%, and then the winnower, we are now hybridizing it, and then we're also looking at moving it to 100% aspect. So this is why our solution matters, right? If you look at the farm level, right, our machine is able to work 30 times faster. So if a human being is threshing and then our machine is working, our machine gets the work done 30 times faster. And it means that the rice is not going to be left on the field. All that would have gone waste would be processed, would be threshed, and then farmers are going to get their money, right? And then beyond that too, there's also the issue of labor that has been reduced. We have some farmers, I mean, almost most of the farmers that have kids drag their children to come and even help with the threshing during their school days, or mostly Fridays. So some miss school on Friday just to help with threshing and all that. So it means that farmers, all the time that they would have spent on field, they could, they now have that time back and they're able to do whatever it is they want to do. They can take up maybe a new work, extra work to get extra income and all that. Then when it comes to the value chain aspect of it, millers or milling centers are able to get a cleaner grain because of the winnowing aspect of it. When the grains go to the miller, we are getting quality rice. So the milling machines or whatever, it's not going to break down because we have something stuck in there that they didn't notice and all that. And beyond that too, there's a standardized output. So if you are looking at Ghana rice, you see that, oh, okay, this rice, they all look white. You don't have some yellow, some brownish, some not well, colored and all that. Then when it comes to national level, when we are getting such high quality grains, it means that, right, there's a way we can substitute it with imports. So the $560 million that we are spending annually can go down, and that money that is going down can be invested in businesses like us to be able to, make sure that we offer the services that we do. And then there is the issue of the rural job creation. So by way of activities, we employ hands in terms of manufacturing the machine, designing it, the field workers and all that. And then there's the issue of us, or the business helping local manufacturing grow. So because we are learning through it, it means that in a way we are innovating and we are contributing to local manufacturing in the country, which is going to benefit the nation in the long run. Yes, so women are not left out, youth are not left out in terms of our operations. So from our customer base, since we started in 2021, 36% of our customer base are women. So that's why when we are making the machine, we have to make it in such a way that women can also work on it. Women can operate on it easily. Then, so we have the issue of manual labor strain, which I've mentioned in the previous slides, and then the employment aspect, whereby I think our team is 100% youth, and the labor hands that are coming in are almost 100% youth. So it means that this mechanization is, in a way, right, bridging the gap in the social equity in terms of infrastructure and all that. So this is some revenue modules that we work with. So for now, it's the threshing services and then the sale of the machine. So when we thresh the rice, this is the bags that we measure them in. This 140 kg bag. And so after threshing, farmers pay, or if they are willing to pay in kind and all that, that is there. Then we have the direct sales to cooperatives, which we are exploring. Then we have the leasing module where a farmer can come and lease the machine, do their threshing services, and then when they are done, they bring it back. And then we have the NGO mechanization partnership. So in fact, Winowa was a result of such partnerships where some institution who had farmers under them came to us. I mean, we competed for it. Actually, we made the machine. We took it to the farm. They gave it to their farmers. Farmers were, and they were really, really happy with it. So these are the revenue modules that we are looking at. And these modules are designed for both affordability and scalability, because we are aware of how the revenue, lifestyle, I'll put it that way, of smallholder farmers are in Ghana and even across Africa. So this is how we make some measurements and unit economics that we have in there. So if we are making a full 100% diesel, thresher, we spend around 35,000 Ghana cedis per unit. If it's solar or like hybridized, then the energy aspect will just come in there to increase the price. And the second one is in terms of production cycle, how long it takes to manufacture one machine. So we do not have our own manufacturing space, so we co-share a space. And because of that, manufacturing one machine takes quite some time, which is approximately 8 weeks. It can be less, it can be more, depending on some one or two factors. And then if we are to invest in getting one machine, latest by 2 years, you should get your money back. And that is if you are using the machine for threshing. But we are selling, then I'll try to get your money back, plus some form of investment. And then, so our goal is to make sure that we have about 60 units of these threshers in Ghana by 2025. And that is it. So this is a commercially viable infrastructure, because, this is what we can do for now, but with our own manufacturing facility and all that, it means cost is going to go down. We are going to produce faster, and so our ROI is going to go down. So yes, we are just like any other institution. There's a lot of challenges we have gone through since we started, and some of them we are still going through. And the first one is capital constraints. I made mention that we do not have our own manufacturing facility. So a manufacturer in Swami Magazine, there's already a fabricator who has his own workshop. He has his own thing that he's doing. So if you go, it's like, you just inconvenience him in a way. But yes, so if we have the capital, it means we are going to get our own facility. We are going to get our own machines to be able to manufacture faster, to be able to manufacture a lot and to be able to service or meet the demand out there. So that is one of the major constraints that we have. And then the second constraint that we are having is the production scaling. So in terms of production, this type of machines, if we are comparing ourselves to the Chinese and the Europeans and the Americans, right? We have some machines that you just give the design, the machine will just do the cutting and everything. So you're able to produce faster. You're able to get a standardized product. You're able to get everything. You're able to even make your spare parts and all that. But because we are using a manual way, you just do the cutting manual, you do measurement manual. So when there's production or when you produce two machines, you notice that the two machines are not really same, which is a very huge challenge on our side. Then we have the issue of certification. So we had some talk with GSA and all that, and we are still trying to see if we get certification, because it looks like there is no certification for now for machines like ours. And this form of certification gives you some form of, I don't know if it's credibility, but it makes people know, or customers know that, okay, so this is up to a standard machine. So if I'm buying it and GSA logo is on it, if they are saying it threshes 1.2 ton per hour, it is indeed threshing 1.2 ton per hour. Then we have the issue of import competition. We have a lot of the Chinese machines flagging in and all that. So that is the competition aspect of it, and then the distribution logistics aspect of it. Going to the farmer's farm, travel so far and all that. But if you have a hub somewhere that you can able to maybe have a certain number of machines in there, then that machine is going to service the farmers in that locality. You wouldn't need to travel so far to get to a farm and all that. So that too is a challenge that we are currently going through, or some of the challenges. And it's not limited to this. We have extra challenges, but for the sake of categorizing all the challenges that we have been going through since we started up to date, I'll just limit them to this. So yes, indeed, there are opportunities for businesses like us, for solutions like ours, right? And the first one is the private or the public-private partnerships, whereby we have some partnership with some, organizations to make sure that our solution, goes far and farmers are able to benefit from our solution and all that. Then, in terms of the climate aspect of it, then we are looking at climate financing, which we are now reading into because we do not have much and so much knowledge in that. We know there's this carbon trading and all that, where you can sell the carbon that you are saving and all that. Yes, so that is an opportunity for the team to explore, because if you are going green, and green is very expensive. I mean, even with a small renewable there, we spend so much on just the solar aspect, the battery and all that. So if you are going green, it means we need some form of financing to make the machine quite affordable for smallholder farmers or even commercial farmers at large. Then we are also looking at the government mechanization center. So we have government, both current government and some past governments, coming up with some mechanization centers, like service centers at various district levels and all that. So we're also looking at exploring that as well. So at least if we go to a mechanization center, you should see 1 or 2 or 3 machines from Mobile Technologies Limited being there. So when farmers come there, they are going to buy machines. They get to see ours, on display, or even get access to some benefits or some subsidies that government is pumping into this initiative. Then we are also looking at taking advantage, or there's the opportunity of university research collaboration, whereby universities like KNUST, Legon, and other institutions just study the machines that we manufacture, come up with the data that they have, the research findings that they have, to make our solution very, very good and up to standard out there. So when we are, sending machines out there, we know that, yes, this is a solid machine that we are taking on there. So that is an opportunity. And then we have the West African expansion. So we have some or a lot of other West African countries that are also into rice production, and some of them are also manual, just like in the case of Ghana. So taking advantage of that through the after initiative or policy that is going on there. Yes, so these are some of the opportunities. So these are some practical uptake scenarios that we are looking at. It's just a follow-up of the opportunities that are available. So the first one is the cooperative ownership model. So we are looking at speaking more to the cooperatives, because I mean, if from our experience or from the data that we have, we know that the average smallholder farmer in Ghana has a land size of averagely 3 acres. So if somebody has 3 acres and they are barely cultivating twice a year, because most of the farmers depend on rain, except the commercialized ones who have access to irrigation system, or those farms that are very close to riverside, even them, they have pumps and other things, so they still do irrigation. So if a farmer that has 3 acres and then they want to come and buy this machine, it means it will just be redundant at some point. It will just work for a day and then they'll pack it for a long time. But if they are a cooperative and they are together, it means that when they buy the machine, the price is both going to go down, and their needs use is also going to be more effective, let me put it that way. Yes, and then the farmer service center, which has to do with some of the policies, right? That's the current government has enrolled out, whereby we have every district will have a farm a service center where some machines and other things will be there. So if your machine breaks down, the farmer will just take it there to get experts to work on it, where you can showcase your machines and all that. Then we have the NGO funded cluster deployment, whereby an NGO can, I think NGO like any other NGO out there, maybe GIZ, GRIC, even GRIC people are there. Yes, so whereby like you get that huge money, or I mean not even the money, but like you can say, oh, I have about 100 or 200 smallholder farmers, make about 50 or 20, let me come down, maybe 10 of the machines for them. So that too is a practical things that scenario that we are looking at. And then we have the district mechanization integration aspect of it. So that too is a practical thing that we can take advantage of, or we are looking at taking advantage of. And then we have the investor-backed fleet module, whereby maybe an investor will say, okay, so you are saying you spend maybe 35,000 to make one treasure, right? And I'm going to get my money back in 2 years. So I would like to sponsor maybe 20 machines. So in 2 years, I get my money back. That too is a very practical thing that we are looking at also, taking advantage or even getting, right? And then the last one is the regional service hubs, which in a way is like an extended version of the farmer service centers, right? So we have those people who import the machines and all that. So speaking with those hubs at the regional level to have our machines there. So when farmers are coming to buy a machine, they will see, oh, so we have this treasure from China, we have this one from Ghana, we have this one from here. So people coming there can see that in Ghana too, we are making such machines, or we have such innovations available. And these ones are not like maybe a far future thing. It's something that's accessible, is scalable, and is adaptable. Yes. So the recommendations, right, that we are giving, yes, on behalf of my team, I'm giving, is that there should be a lot more support for IP, driven manufacturing. So our machine, finally, we are at the final stage of IP, like I mentioned. So it means that we are doing something that is new. It's not like we went to, make exactly what is on the market or something like that. It's something new. So if innovators like us, like Bobobee Technologies Limited, is coming up with such innovations, and these are not the only innovations we have. We have innovation like on cocoa, on other crops, right? So it means that if innovations like this are coming up and youth like us are, working in such field, then we need some of, support in there, right? Support in terms of infrastructure, in terms of the exposure, access to markets, and finance. I mean, finance is important and all that. Then we have we are recommending for a fast-track machinery certification. Yes, which is taking so much time, to get this machine certified. You need to go here. This person will tell you, don't do it here. Go here. The person, oh, we have not started that one yet. So you have to go and sit down. So if you go out there, you meet maybe an investment person asks, oh, so is your machine certified? Then, oh, no, it's not certified. Then the question will follow, how did you know you can do what you are saying you can do? Then you have to fall back on your internal data of your observation of how the machine has worked and what farmers have told you about the machine. So we need some form of fast tracking certification in terms of the machines or the innovations that we have. And it's not only for Bobobee Technologies Limited, it's for other, agri-tech or machinery manufacturing startups in Ghana like us, right? And then the next one is the expand climate smart equipment financing. Like I mentioned, just if we are looking at green businesses, it's very, very expensive. If we are looking at powering this treasure 100%, 100% with solar, that is a huge, investment, and it's going to be a huge burden on the smallholder farmer, right? So we are recommending that some funding, should be in there so far as equipment manufacturing is concerned, because we need that equipment, we need those machines out there to be able to cut down a little bit on the imports and all that. Right. And then the last recommendation that we are giving is to integrate local innovators into national mechanization strategy. So from our observation, right, you notice that most of the the strategies that the government will come up with, or at the national level. This is just, let's import in tractors. We want to do this, let's import. It's like the government is not looking inside, to see what can the local, like the youth, what are the local innovations going on? Is there a way we can push this innovation to be bigger, to be able to meet the market? So we cut down on let's bring in, and look at, let's make what is inside, bigger and better, so we can compete with the ones out there, because those ones out there are very advanced, right? So that is also a recommendation that we are giving in there, that if there is any mechanization strategy going on, businesses like us, small businesses like Bobobee Technologies Limited, should be integrated in there, so then we can stand and be able to meet the demand and also be able to compete out there. Because I believe we can be, supported to get to that level of also exporting our machines to other countries. To conclude, I don't know if I've used all of my 40 minutes. To conclude, so we are saying that if Ghana really seeks food sovereignty, if we are looking at being able to feed ourselves and depend less on the imports and other things, then we cannot do away with industrializing post-harvest systems. We cannot stop at just bringing in the, quality, or how do you call those seeds, the modified seed, right? Those seeds that can resist, climate and all that. Those are very good innovation. But we cannot look away the post-harvest system activities out there. We cannot ignore local engineering and infrastructure and all that. Those ones are strategic. If we really, really want to look at having our own, sovereignty in terms of food, producing what we eat, meeting local demand, and even think of exporting some. And businesses like us, Bobobee Technologies Limited, is building that infrastructure. We are that, business that's in there that is looking at the post-harvest system, especially in the rice industry. So this is a short second video. It's not a second, I think 10 or 12 seconds video of how our first module, the treasure, worked on the field. Yeah, thank you very much. I am done.
Thank you very much, Erica. I almost said, can we clap for her? But it's virtual, so please, you can clap for her with your is it hand clapping? Yeah, the clap emoji. So thank you very much, Erica. The presentation was actually very, very good. And you are within time. You have 4 minutes to actually end. But anyways, thank you so much. We'll just move straight into the other session, which is question and answers. So please, participants, you have the floor to ask questions. You can either type in the chats or raise your hand using the reaction button, yes. And then I'll call you to do that. If you can't also do that, kindly type your question in the chat and I'll read it out to her. So Sabina, please, you can go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. I
Good
would
morning.
just like to congratulate Erica and the team for the work done. Listening to her, I think a collaboration between Bobobee Technologies, the district assemblies, and the farmers could go a long way. In that the farmers produce, the district assemblies have the centers, maybe as you was talking about cooperative, you put the machine somewhere nearer to all the farmers. Then they come there, it's not for them. They come and mill their rice and then they pay a rent, like we do for the maize. Somebody has his milling machine, you go, you pay and you process your rice and you go away. That way you don't burden the farmer. And at the same time, you are bringing in individual entrepreneurs, or the district assembly should find somebody to run that center. And then you must have those producing the machines must have something we call the Rural Women Technician Corps. Within each center where the machine is, you bring together some women. We are talking about women because we want them to concentrate. They are trained as repairers, minor repairs they should be able to do. So that as soon as the center gets a problem, they call. And then they contact Wobel Technologies too. And quickly the problem is solved so that the machine will not stand idle for any moment. And then the money generated from the running of the machine could be plowed back to improve other technology. And then, Erica, I have looked at the machine. Is it possible to, let's say, design 50% downsize of the machine so that if you do that and it's able to work, then you could easily move the machine to other centers so that the farmers will have an easy way instead of burdening them with taking care of the machines. So far, this is my question. Thank you.
Welcome. Please, can you maybe clarify a little bit on the last comment that you about the downsizing aspect? Are you talking
Yes,
about?
I'm looking at the machine and I'm saying, well done, because at least you've gotten something which is working. But if you look at the size, sometimes it's easier if you can reduce the size to half of the machine and it will still work. It makes it easier to carry the machine along to the farming centers. That's what I was thinking of.
Okay, so maybe, yes, I get it, but let me clarify that one. I do know it's a comment, but one of the advantage our machine has is the smallness of it. So ours is smaller and modular. So you can detach some parts of the machine. This one, it is moved by a tricycle. So you mount the machine behind the tricycle. We
So
pick the upper
tricycle,
side.
okay.
Yes, yes. So it's modular. So you pick the upper side, you put it in the tricycle, and then the hind side has wheels under, so the tricycle will just drag it right to the farm.
And with the nature of our road, don't you think the falling into potholes and whatever will affect the operation of the machine?
Yes, so all those ones, yes, please. So all those ones there were some observations that we got during our research. So all those ones have been added in the design. So even if we are traveling, like I'll use example with our wheels. The wheels that our machine uses we have made it in such a way that even when it rains and some farms have this muddy, some of them are very muddy, you cannot move with a normal wheel. So the wheel is able to move in that muddy road. So we've had all those one in mind when we're designing the machine, and we are still studying and also still improving it up to date.
Thank you. And lastly, once the solar version is working, is it possible to concentrate on that so that you could supply the farmers with a solar-operated rice thresher?
Yes,
and save them from diesel and all that.
Yes,
is that
please.
possible? Okay.
Yes, that's
Thank
possible.
You. Okay, I'm done.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bina. Please, any other questions? So, Adam wants to find out if you have any collaboration with Gratis Foundation or you're thinking about such collaboration.
No, we don't have any collaboration with Gratis, but we are very open to collaboration, so we can explore that.
Thank you. Thank you. Please, do we have any other questions? Ms. Sabina, please, you can go ahead.
Listening to the last person, the Gratis Foundation has centers all over the country, if I'm not mistaken. And if you form the Rural Women Technician Corps, then they could be in touch with these centers. So that I'm thinking of quick solution to problems. Okay. And if they are able to do that, then you have continuous processing. And I don't know, maybe they have also developed technology similar to what Wobil is doing. I don't know, you can find out. So that you collaborate in a way. Maybe Wobil could produce, let's say, 10. And Gratis with 8 centers could also produce, let's say, 20. Then at least we have 30 to start with. And throughout the country, it will go a long way in saving us from importing rice. And it is the nation which benefits. So please look at the collaborative nature of your work and let's see what comes out. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Please, you are allowed to ask more questions if you want. We have about 26 minutes to go. But if there are no questions, we just have to proceed. If you can type in the chat, Eunice, please go ahead.
Hello, good morning. Thanks for the presentation. It was very insightful. I wanted to find out if there are any specific parts of especially the winnower that you would want to improve in future. And then also, secondly, what's the cost of the machine if you have costed it?
Okay, so for the winnower, I think for when we took it on field and the farmers used it, and one of the feedback we got was that the hopper was very small. So if you look at the feeding side, it was quite small, aside that it was working perfectly as they wanted, but the feeding end was small. So we are looking at improving to make it larger so it can be fed like a lot. And then yes, we have costed our treasure. So we spend about 35 cedis if we are making the full diesel engine machine. But for the solar, it's quite, it changes because of the energy aspect of it.
Okay, thank you. Eunice, please, has your question been answered? There's a
Yeah, it has. But what of the winnower? Have you costed that one
Yes,
also?
yes. So for the winnower plus the energy aspect, we spent around 91,000 Ghana cedis. So just the mechanical aspect of it was 21,000. So the remaining money went into the solar panels, the batteries, and all that.
Okay. Please, has your question been answered completely now?
Yes. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Please, do you have any other questions that I want to ask? Okay. Please, I put the feedback form in the chat. Kindly give me a minute to sort that issue out. Please, if you still have any questions or suggestions, we are open to that. Kindly either share, unmute and share, or type it in the chat and then I'll read it too. Okay. Please, I've put the feedback form. Miss Eunice, please, you can go ahead.
Okay. I don't know if it has already been mentioned. I missed a few of the slides, but do you have any plans for scaling up the equipment you have innovated? Because they are very brilliant technologies and they will go a long way.
Okay. Yes, so we have plans of scaling up, and one of them is taking advantage of some partnerships so we'll be able to make extra machines on the market. And we are also looking at exploring the partnership with cooperatives and other NGOs to be able to make sure that when we make the machine, it becomes quite affordable for the farmers to buy in, as a team. Yes, so yes, we have plans of commercializing or scaling.
Okay, thank you. I believe your
And to
question
add
is,
to that, to
please go ahead.
yes, okay. So as a way of scaling too, we are also currently manufacturing a facility, a workshop, so we can have our own production and manufacturing space for scaling.
All right, Sally wants to know what's how heavy the machine is. So I'm believing this is the size of the machine. That's right.
The size of the machine,
How heavy the machine is.
the size or the weight.
The weight, sorry.
Okay, all right. So we have not really measured. So we don't know the weight of the machine, but for the engine that we work with, the engine alone is around 120 kg. So not the whole machine, we've not weighed the whole thing. But the engine aspect of it weighs around 120 kg.
Okay. Sally, please, are you okay with the feedback you got? Is it? You can give a thumbs up or maybe type yes in the okay, the person answered. Thank you. Okay. So since we don't have any questions, but if you still have any question, please put it in the chat. I've shared the link to the feedback form. Please, your feedback is quite important to us. So I'll give about 5 minutes for us to complete it. If we are looking for any collaboration, any partnership with them, and Miss Sabine, I think your suggestions were very, very good. So we may want to engage you further. So we'd appreciate if you could also fill the feedback form for us. And maybe support with the people that we can meet up with and then work together with. So that would be great. So please complete the feedback form. If you're not looking for any partnership also, we want to get your feedback on how the session was and how we can improve on it in subsequent ones as well. So within the next 5 minutes.
Hello. I'm trying
Hi.
to fill the feedback form, but I'm having problems. So if you could send it to me directly, maybe that will help.
Okay, let me reshare to you in the chats.
And I've picked the one in the chat and I'm finding it difficult to enter in.
This was the issue. Oh, okay. I've seen it. I think there's an issue. A minute, please. I'll sort it out.
Okay.
Yep. Please kindly retry. I've given you access. Please, does any other person have an issue? I think I should just change the link. This link. Okay, so I don't have any responses yet. I'm still waiting. Please, I've updated the link in the chat so you can access the form using the recent link I just put in the chat. Okay, so I have 2 responses. Please, I'm waiting for the others. We have 14 minutes to end this session. So please do share your feedback. Yes, I'm still waiting on your feedback. Okay, so whilst we wait, I'll just go ahead and share the next steps. Okay, so as always, thank you once again for joining the session. Today's session has been quite insightful. We've learned something new about the rice thresher and then what it can do, the potential collaboration that we can have with Wobble Technologies, and then also great suggestions that came for the team to improve on its services. So thank you for joining. The Ghana Research and Industry Collaborative hosts this industry brief session monthly. So next month, we'll also have another session. As I said, it cuts across different sectors. So this one has to do with agriculture. Next month's session will also differ with different stakeholders or people who are already interested, or people who are still on this call that will be interested can also join that session. And you can keep up with all this information on our social media, which is the Ghana Research and Industry Collaborative on LinkedIn. And then you can also check our website, gricghana.org. That is where you get every information from us. Apart from industry brief sessions, we have our learning workshops, we have the annual forum, we have other interesting projects or programs that you'd want to participate in. So please do well to follow us on LinkedIn and also check our website out. You can also create an account where you have access to different innovations and research that we've broadcasted through the industry brief session. So you find summary documentations on these innovations on our website and you can read through them. If you are looking to collaborate with the innovations or the people that you see on the website that you'd want to collaborate with, you can also reach out to us. I'm going to put my email in the chat. I'll be sending a thank you email to all participants. So please, you'd have access to every information. By putting my email in the chat, for anyone who would like to reach me, please, you can go ahead and do that. Okay. So I put my email in the chat. Please do also reach out to me if you need any support or if you find anything on our website that is interesting to you. Or also if you have any innovation or know anyone who has a great innovation that you'd want them to have an opportunity like this to present to industry stakeholders, please do well to reach out to me via email and we'll attend to you very well. With that said, thank you for joining the session. Please do also complete the feedback form if you haven't done that, for us to improve subsequent sessions and also to follow up on people who will be interested in the innovation that was shared, to either partner with them or get the innovation, the machine for yourself. So I see there's a question in the chat and I see John is answering it. Okay. So thank you all for joining. Do have a great day. As you can see, that's our website, gricghana.org. So please follow us on or check our website out, gricghana.org. You can also check out Impact Investing Ghana, which is the host organization, to learn about what we do, other projects that we run, and how it's impacting our ecosystem or livelihood. So please do well to do that for us. Thank you once again for joining and do have a blessed day. Bye, everyone. Justice, please, I hope you are still on the call because I see that John is answering your questions. Okay.